Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we're playing some Mono Blue Faeries. This is a deck that I just had an idea for a new card we could try in this deck, and I figured I would give it a try, and that is Winged Words. This is a Divination, 3 mana to draw 2 cards, but as long as you control a creature with flying, it only costs 2 mana instead. Now obviously, Of One Mind being only 1 mana to draw 2 cards is a lot more efficient, but a 2 mana draw 2 is still a really good card, so we're going to try some of both of these, and of course we have about 14 flyers in the deck. It should not be hard to have one on the field to get a draw 2 for 2 mana. I do think there's a possibility, to get ahead of some comments, that this is an unnecessary card for the deck, because we already draw quite a bit. But Of One Mind is a great card in the deck, and if we have more ways to draw that aren't fully reliant on dealing damage to our opponent, then maybe sometimes in those board stall moments, we can still keep our value up and make sure to steamroll our opponent. Otherwise, we're playing some pretty standard stuff. Of course, we have our 8 ninjas, 4 Brinebearer Intruders, so we still have plenty of humans for the Of One Mind, 4 Fairy Miscreants, Fairy Seers, and Spellstutter Sprites, 2 Harrier Strix. Then we're playing 4 Counterspell, 2 Snaps, 2 Dispel, and also 2 Bind the Monster in the main deck. I've seen some people play this. Certainly it's very common in the sideboard, but sometimes even in the main deck. And I think with the extra card draw, this might be pretty good, because if we can't connect with our ninjas or our fairies or anything, and then we get a Winged Words, which could draw us more cards into a Bind the Monster, maybe that can help us break through a board stall. Our sideboard is 4 Annul, 6 Blue / Hydroblasts, 3 Gut Shots, and 2 more Bind the Monsters. So let's just take this for a league and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a league video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. Alright, here we are. We do have a Winged Words. Only 1 land is tough, but we do have a Fairy Seer to try to hit more land drops. No Ninja after that, but if we do hit 1 land, worst case scenario, I can Winged Words at some point. I think we're going to give this one a try. We're also on the draw. Some more chances to draw lands. We are against something red. Start with a Faithless Looting. And they discard a Sneaky Snacker and a Lava Dart. We immediately draw an island, which is pretty good. The Lava Dart's going to be a pain. Snacker too. I feel like this matchup's probably tough based on these cards, but then again, we have a lot of counter spells. I think we still lead with the Fairy Seer. We're looking for more counter spells. I don't think we need this second Seer. I would also like more lands, so do I want just a random counterspell? I think we'll keep it. Maybe I should just ditch it for more lands, or looking for ninjas or something like that, but I don't know, counterspell's pretty good. If they don't just like kill our Fairy Seer here, then I can get a Winged Words off if I wanted to. They do just Lava Dart it, but they miss a land drop. Okay, so I could hold up a counterspell. I think I just want to play a Miscreant, hold up Brinebearer Intruder, or I could just play a Strix. This way I can guarantee I have a Winged Words for next turn. Of course, I could just hold up a counterspell for if they get like a Faithless Looting, but they didn't have a Faithless Looting last turn, or at least they didn't want to use it. I think if they don't get anything, like, that just doesn't make a ton of sense. And here, if they just, like, obviously they could Lava Dart one of these, but they'd be sacrificing their only land. That's not a winning play. If they bolt just one of these, we still have flyers for the Winged Words. They do bolt the Strix and just pass the turn. So I could Words, or I could just get down the Ninja. Ninja is probably better, let's be honest. That's why the deck is generally built around these guys. Would still love to hit a land. Spellstutter. They do find another mountain. Play an Epicure. And they just bolt the Ninja. Well, I guess we're going for a Fairy Seer and a Miscreant. I would love to hold up a counterspell here, but I gotta get something on the field. We also really want to hit more lands. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of... Miscreant's so good with the second Miscreant. I think we just want to... I'm going to put it on the bottom because I want to hit a land drop, and if we don't hit a land drop, I want to hold up a 2-drop, so I don't want to have to play that next turn, and if we still don't hit a land, then I don't have a 2-drop to hold up. It's already bad enough we're not holding up counter spells, because if they do get another land in like a Gutter Snipe, we only have a few ways to deal with it once it's on the board. They ditch a Fiery Temper to the Blood token, taking up the Fairy Seer, and they find another mountain, pass the turn. 3 mountains. I mean, they still don't want to sacrifice their lands, but if they really want to, or really need to, they could Lava Dart this. But they don't. We get a Spellstutter. Do I just hold up Spellstutter for something? Probably. Sure. Part of me thinks I should just go for the Words, but we're clearly never hitting a land. If they play something like an Epicure, I'll just go for a counter. They'd have to, like, double Lava Dart or whatever to be able to prevent this from getting countered, and that would be fine. There's a bolt. Alright, they might go for that then. No, they still let it get countered. Interesting. I will just take one. We hit another Spell Stutter Sprite. Well, we're just going to leave these up for the foreseeable future. Hopefully we'll just draw islands naturally, but they're going to Lava Dart here, sacrificing a land to try to make it so we don't get a ninja down, and we're going to just Spell Stutter that. I'll just take my value where I can. Happy they lost a land for it. Play a mountain. They grab the prize, discarding a Gutter Snipe. So they had the Gutter Snipe, but they decided that they need card draw over it, and to finally get this snacker back. I guess that's fair. Swing with the Epicure, which we'll take. Oh my god, a million counter spells, but of course, still just 2 lands. We're gonna pass. They play a mountain. We know they have a Lava Dart. They go for a Robbery. I'm just gonna counter that. I could Spell Stutter it. They have a Lava Dart in the grave, so if they have one other bolt or removal spell, they would be able to remove our guys. I think I just like that to not happen. They plot another Robbery. That's kind of weird that they would... By plotting it, they're giving us the ability to counter it next turn, as opposed to using it right now when we're tapped out. Winged Words. Okay. Well, maybe these Winged Words are not doing what I need them to right now. We're going to counterspell their draw 2 if they cast it. Counter the Robbery. I'm just going to block the Epicure at this point. I mean, now is going to be the time when I finally draw my 3rd land, so I could have Brine Barrow Intrudered the Epicure and still hold up a 2-drop, but whatever. They plot another Robbery. What are they doing? They should do this while we're tapped out. We do get the land, in fact. We're going to pass, and we're going to counterspell the Robbery. If they do nothing, I will flash in this Spell Stutter and this Brine Barrow just to get some pressure on them. Plus, if we draw another 1 mind, we can use that. All right, look at this. Winged Words for 2 mana. Hold up Counterspell. Not bad, right? It's only turn 10. They're going to bolt the Intruder. That's fine. It's not even the one discounting the words. Oh, I guess they're going to Lava Dart it. I mean, I don't think I want to counterspell that, so that's fine. I think we should just... We're in a much better spot than they are. Just hold up Counterspell in case they draw another draw 2, which they did. Or no, this was from exile. Right. Well, we're going to counter it. Flashback Faithless Looting. Snacker comes back. Now we're going to get flooded. All islands. We're going to cast a Divination. Strix. Strix can help with our flooding problem. They have an Epicure. Swing for 2. I think I gotta take it. They have a Fiery Temper, which I can dispel. They go with the face, but I think I'm just gonna dispel it anyway. Even if it's not killing our Strix, just because might as well get some use out of it. Bind the Monster. Not the best or worst thing, I guess. We get a Ninja. Swing. Put down a Ninja. Brine Barrow wouldn't be a bad draw, because I can just blank this, block this. So the Moon Circuit Hacker makes me want to play the Strix and then not block either of these. We take a bunch of damage, and then Bind the Monster makes us lose more life. That doesn't seem extremely good. We've gone through so many counterspells already. I think I should just bind this Snacker. Based on how their game went, I feel like we should be... Well, I feel like we should have already won, but like, just being stuck on 2 lands for so long was unfortunate. There's the Flame Breather. Swing with the Epicure. Replay Strix. Tap down the Flame Breather. Swing for 2. Draw a card. We're gonna loot. Flooded with islands. Let's play a Hacker. Gonna swing with both. I mean, I guess I'll double block the Flame Breather. We're probably just dead, but do what we can. They Fiery Temper us down to 3. Then Fire Blast. Well, we go to damage here. We're at 2. No Fire Blast. Let's loot. Snap. Swing with the Ninja. We draw another Snap. What good does Snap do? Not much. I'm going to loot again. Just see if I can get a counterspell or something. No. Okay. I mean, if they play like a Gutter Snipe and have no mana, then I can snap it back. I guess that's like something. If I snap this Epicure, they just get to ping it for 1 damage. So I probably just need to trade, but that means that I lose my ability to loot. I guess I could block and snap our Harrier Strix. That might be the play, actually. Don't have much else going on. I mean, we're tapping out here, but we're dead if they have anything anyway. So Strix back in hand. They're going to pass. Fairy Miscreant. We're going to start by drawing a card. It's just an island. Let's play a Strix. Tap a land. Loot. Fairy Seer. Snap doesn't do us any good. I'll keep all of this because I could scry into like a Dispel that I could loot. No. Island to the bottom. Brine Barrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not even lethal. I guess if we keep it on top. Oh, I can't even play it and the Miscreant. Never mind. I was going to say that I could loot into it, flash it in. If we find a Ninja, then I can have lethal. They grab the prize, a Highway Robbery, and we die. Dude, every single counterspell. I mean, I guess I did keep a counterspell early that I should not have with the Scry, but like every single counterspell we could find in the early game, which meant we had none for the late game, and then all of our lands late game. Get rid of Bind the Monsters. I feel like Brine Barrows aren't even that helpful in this match. We probably can't afford to take out 4. Snap is decent. I guess we'll just take out Dispels. No, Dispel's too useful. Like, we have all the blue blasts, but Dispel's still too useful. Cut like a ninja. I'll cut one of the winged words. Alright, we'll keep here. Island and Fairy Seer. Double Island. We will keep 1. Maybe with the of one mind we should keep both. They Lava Dart right away though, so the of one mind is not looking as powerful. They go for a Flame Breather. We're just going to counterspell Winged Words. I guess we're just going to cast a Winged Words. The of one mind has a greater reduction, so keep it over the other one. If I want next turn, I could go like Miscreant, Brine Barrow into Of One Mind. They go for a Faithless Looting. Discarding a Bolt and a Mountain. They only have 3 cards left. Let's play a Miscreant. I guess I'll play a Brine Barrow. It kind of shows why we're doing this, so they might kill the Miscreant in response, but they don't. Go for a Draw 2. We get a Strix. I don't think there's any reason to run out the Strix. If they then have like an End the Festivities, it's kind of bad. I don't want to lose the Strix. They bolt the Intruder. They play a Gutter Snipe. Gutter Snipe's pretty scary. I could snap it right away, but I don't have a counter spell to get rid of it right now. They're going to Lava Dart the Miscreant. Okay, I like this. Lava Darting the Miscreant while they're tapped out just lets me go for the Spell Stutter. They did it after blocks, which means that I could Ninja right now if I had a Ninja. So they did not do this right. I don't think, but I'm happy to see them lose a land, especially because I can now snap the Gutter Snipe and they can't play it unless they have another land, which they very well might. I think we'll do that and then get off our of one mind. Very strange play from them. Now we get the counter spell, so if they get the land and play the Gutter Snipe again right now, then we won't have the counter spell, but we have 6 blasts that could hit it later, so hopefully we can get there. And they go for a Grab the Prize, discarding Faithless. That's good. No lands from them. Swing. Alright, I'll play Strix now. It is bad if they have End the Festivities, but I get at least 1 loot off. Plus I could just counterspell the End the Festivities if it's important enough to me, which it might be. They're going to grab the prize with the Snacker in the yard. I'm just going to counterspell. I know there's a Gutter Snipe to counterspell too, but draw 2, deal 2, get a Snacker back is too much value. We're going to loot, get rid of an island. Dispel's not bad. Spell Stutter's pretty good. Swing for 3. They Lava Dart the Sprite. I'm going to just Spell Stutter here. And if they have a Red Blast, I can Dispel. I could do it in the other order, but this obviously just develops another threat out. Of course, Spell Stutter can hit 2 drops and non-instants, but I think this is fine. They go for the Pyroblast, and we will Dispel. And of course, they can flashback a Lava Dart if they want, but they would lose a land to do so. Don't think there's a reason to loot when we don't know what's on top of our deck, so we won't. But we'll loot now, just in case I get a Ninja that I want to use. No, but Hydroblast is definitely better than Dispel, so we'll keep that. Hit for 4. We still know they have the Gutter Snipe, 1 unknown in hand. Lightning Bolt on a Sprite. That's fine. If it was an End the Festivities, I'd counter it, but if they just want to throw, kill one of these guys, that's not a big deal to me. Epicure's also fine. I'd rather save this for removal or mass removal or like the Gutter Snipe. They're going to Lava Dart the Strix, going down to 1 land. I think we're going to counter this. I don't want to lose too much of our tempo, and the Strix is really good. The fact that they lost the land means I don't really have to worry about the Gutter Snipe. They could draw and End the Festivities off the top, which would be pretty good, but I think we're not going to worry about that. Island and Fairy. We're hitting for 3, they're at 7, then next turn 4, 4, so this doesn't change our clock, so let's just put it on the bottom so that I can maybe find like a Ninja or something. Or Protection, a counterspell. Pass the turn. Then again, one of the ways we lose this game is they draw and End the Festivities, and then the Fairy Seer on top setting up our next draws would have been decent, so maybe I should have kept it. But they don't get there, and we'll see if we can get game 3. 1 land, but we're on the draw, and we have the Fairy Seer. I would not be keeping this without the Fairy Seer. Here's hoping we get some lands. Don't have a repeat of game 1. We're going to bottom everything that's not a land, of course. They just dart it right away. Hydroblast, Blue Blast. I mean, we're getting rid of everything that's not a land, but those are obviously cards we want. They pass to us, and of course, we don't get a land, so play of Miscreant. Scry 2's a lot. Plus we're on the draw. That was 4 cards to see another land. They're gonna grab the prize Fiery Temper, and they just go face with that. They might Lava Dart the Miscreant afterwards, though. They don't. They'll probably do it when I turn it into a hacker. Or before, if they do the timing right, which they do this time. I can't snap anything. I mean, yeah, 1-lander is risky, but it's just, 4 cards, 5 cards to see it. Doesn't feel like it should be that dangerous. Fiery Temper off of looting. We get an island. Let's see if we can still somehow win this game. Seems unlikely. Let's see. I could Spell Stutter the looting. I don't know. I could take 2 different approaches. One is that I need to high roll, so I need to try to counter this and just hope it works, and they have no way to stop it. Or I could just let them do whatever they want and then go to the end step and then flash in a Spell Stutter, go for a Ninja. Maybe that would have been better. They do Red Blast here. Discarding a Red Blast and a Mountain. Their hand must be stacked to discard a Blast. Off 1 mind. We're going to pass. And they're going to pass. We're going to flash in a Spell Stutter. We get an island. We'll see about getting a hacker down. They go for a Pyroblast. I think we're going to snap. They're going to Pyroblast again. Okay, can't do anything about that. Which means we are shields down, unfortunately. Of course, if they play a Gutter Snipe, I could snap it and hold up Counterspell. They flash back looting, discarding Lava Dart Fireblast. Play a Mountain. We get an island. I think we just play a Hacker here. This Hacker dies to Lava Dart, but I could snap it if I want. Which I probably do. Play a Mountain. They have a Flame Breather. We're just going to counter it. They have another Pyroblast. And then Lava Dart the Hacker. They still have a Looting in the Grave, but that's it. It's like a Blue Blast. I think we're just going to of 1 mind, and I can hold up Blue Blast for either Faithless Looting, or I could kill the Flame Breather. Or I could do both. Let's do both. Shoot this. Pass the turn. I think I'd just like to not have them get 2 cards deeper. And if we don't draw a creature, I'll just hardcast a Ninja. Okay, I'll hardcast an of 1 mind instead, because that has a decent shot of hitting a creature. Counterspell's not bad. Another looting. I don't think I counter it this time, because then they can flash it back. I don't know. Fiery Temper, not a big deal. We go to 8. Moon Circuit Hacker. I guess I'm just going to hardcast the Ninja. This lets me have Counterspell and or potentially snap as well. If I just play the Hacker, it just dies to a Lava Dart, which is what I'm trying to avoid. They have the Red Blast. That's probably fine. And then I just play the Hacker, and we counterspell the... I don't play it this time, and then I counterspell the Faithless Looting again. This one I'm not 100% sure about countering. Again, I do want them to not be able to dig, but if they get a Gutter Snipe or something, that's kind of bad. We have another Ninja. I guess I should just be casting this Ninja, because it's cheaper. At this point, maybe I would just cast both. Snap doesn't even do that much. He can save 1 of them, but then I'm not attacking with either. I think this is fine for now. We even get a Moon Circuit Hacker, so I can just draw 2 off of these guys. That's not bad. Finding all our ninjas here. We will draw 2, which are some islands. They're at 16, so I could play this for more damage. I think we'll do that, as opposed to... I think I just want to close out the game, as opposed to getting the card advantage. We'll still be drawing and looting, but... this reduces the turn count by 1. Let's play a Fairy Seer to scry what we can draw first. Fairy Seer and of 1 mind seem good. Well, Fairy Seer seems medium, but whatever. I guess Fairy Seer into of 1 mind is not bad. With a bunch of mana here, we will draw first, then loot again. Brian Barrow doesn't do that much. We have 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess if we get 1 more power, it could be lethal attack. I feel like Snap doesn't really matter at this point. Be wrong, but Fairy Seer, we're mostly trying to find counter spells. Brian Bear Intruder can be lethal next turn. I just feel like we're gonna die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'd rather look for counter spells. I think there's a reasonable chance that we might just die if we don't find something here. We do find 1, and we end up finding the power that we need anyway. So if they can't kill any of our stuff, which seems unlikely, but if they try to kill us and then we can counterspell and survive, we can hit them back for 10. And we win the match. Well, that was a hell of a match, but we ended up getting there. All right, we're on the draw with the 1-lander, the Fairy Seer, and I'm gonna keep it. because I don't know how to learn a lesson. We also have a hacker, so if the seer doesn't die right away, although we're against red again. Oh boy. Faithless Looting. Hopefully not snackers. Yeah, usually when you see turn 1 Faithless Looting, there's at least one snacker. We get another Winged Wisdom. Winged Wisdom, that's not it. Winged Words. No lands. We're gonna get rid of these cards. Okay, I do admit I reduced the land count from the 18 that I like and I think is pretty standard to 17 in order to accommodate the Winged Words. I still feel like we should be able to find lands a little bit easier. Well, we'll see if we get there with the hacker. Oh, bro. Okay, I guess not. Pass the turn, they swing with the snacker. Play an Epicure, play another Epicure. So we're not getting through very well. I'm going to play a Seer, of course. We will keep. And I'll pass. They're going to just swing with everybody. No, 2. We know we're getting it. Like, we could cast another one mine next turn, but I'll probably want to hold up Counterspell. They'll just get the snacker back, though. This hacker's never getting in, though. Let's block here. I will say low land hands are definitely not great for the Winged Words. These are supposed to be better for late game, so I'll try to keep some more reasonable hands that'll let us play the game quicker. They pick off our Faeries here. We do get an island. I mean, I could snap a snacker. No, I'll just miscreant. I could snap it. Obviously, it'll just like get discarded and come back. But I think I might as well Brine Barrow here. Block and Brine Barrow. I can eat both their guys, and then we can get off of one mine potentially. Obviously, depending on if they kill our guys in response. They're gonna bolt the intruder. So I'll block the snacker. We'll take 1. Robbery brings it back. Another Epicure. We get an island. I'll swing hacker. Draw a card. It's an island. I think I'm going to snap the snacker just so we don't have to deal with it for an extra turn. And then cast a miscreant of 1 mind and pass. I'll block one of their Epicures. They have a Flame Breather and a Robbery. Brings back snacker. All counter spells. I guess we'll see if we can hold the fort down. We're taking 3, and then they probably just cast a bunch of stuff that I can't counter the triggers. And we'll probably die. No attack with the Flame Breather. Makes sense in case I had a Brine Barrow. Trade for this guy. Play a Mountain and smartly pass with all our counter spells up. Just Spell Stutter the snacker, and then I don't think we can win this one. Let's just go to the next one. Let's keep a hand with at least 2 lands, if not 3. Bring in a bunch of blasts here. Alright, we're on the play. We have 3 islands, which I didn't even know was possible in an opening hand. We'll keep it. Start with a Fairy Seer. I don't think I need a Miscreant. I don't think we need an island. I'd love ninjas for the F1 mind, just in general. More counter spells. I'm sure this will eat a dart or something. There it is. There's a counter spell. They have nothing. We'll just pass. Play an island. Pass back to them. I'll just keep hitting land drops. I'm not technically sure which player this favors, but our hand is very reactive anyway. We can't really be more proactive. I could just of 1 mind here, but I go from holding up 3 counter spells to just 1. No, I could have 2 with double blast here. I think it's fine. We should probably have a time at some point in the future where we have double, a fairy and a human, or where I can just cast like an of 1 mind with 3 mana up. I think that's fine. All right. Got some value. We still get to hold up Counterspell and Blast. Of course, we have Spell Stutter, but it just eats a dart, so it isn't looking amazing at the moment. They play a Mountain and pass the turn. We will just pass back to them. This is developing to be an interesting game. Oh, no land drop for them. That's good for us. We're pulling ahead in mana. See, it's not flooding if your opponent's doing nothing, you know? 8 lands is a lot for our deck, but it's not that bad, really. Strix. I think I'm going to wait 1 more turn. They might have to, cast something because they might discard here, or they might just, Fiery Temper, which is fine. No, Snacker, same thing. But now I get to play some creatures. Strix and a Miscreant. We're holding up 4 counter spells still. They're going to dart the Miscreant. Darts make things really problematic, but I'm going to go for a Spell Stutter. Darts are just a pain because they can kill 2 creatures. There's a Pyroblast. We will counterspell. That resolves. That resolves. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they're going to kill it on the stack. No, that resolves. Okay. I'm still holding up Pyro or Hydro and Blue Blast. If they go for the darts here. I think I just have to let it happen. I could snap, which is really good value if it goes off, but they could just lava dart it again. And I don't really want to be tapped out if they do react to the snap. I don't want to be tapped out if they get like a gutter snipe and stuff now. So there's the gutter snipe, which will counter. And a red blast. We will counter again. That works, but they have a grab the prize getting 2 snackers. That's pretty good. I would love a miscreant off the top. That would give us a bunch of extra card draw. I guess their lava dart makes that problematic. Maybe not. Highland. Ugh. Well, we'll swing. Guess I'll pick up the Strix, because this guy doesn't really have a ETB then. You get a snap. I'll replay Strix. I'm just gonna use it once now. Blue Blast is good. Obviously, the grab the prize resolving was pretty unfortunate, but I guess I could have prioritized a draw 2 over the gutter snipe since I had a snap anyway. Not sure that was the right call, but could have been. Highway robbery. I think I'll let this go. Doesn't deal us 2 extra damage with grab the prize. They didn't attack with their snackers. Probably means they're going to leave them back. Of course, there's a snacker anyway. And there's a gutter snipe, which I could like let resolve, but if I'm going to snap it, I'm going to just counter it later, so I feel like I might as well just snap it now. I don't know. Ninja of the Deep Hours. I think we're snapping 2 snackers here. And then going for some ninjas. Pick up the hacker. We got the extra mana. Pick up the Strix. They didn't want to lava dart anything. Or I guess they could lava dart, yeah, the hacker now. Okay, fair enough. I was thinking they were going to do it beforehand, but makes sense. They knew I didn't have anything else in hand. Draw off the ninja. Strix. Tap their mountain. And I guess I'll loot in case I get another 1-drop that could be relevant. It's a Fairy Seer. Could be good to set up. Fairy Seer of One Mind. I think Seer is not good enough, but the of One Mind is definitely where we want to be. They have 7 cards in hand. We're tapped out and have no cards in hand. But I guess they have 7 cards because we gave them back 2 snackers. But grab the prize, 1 comes back. There's another gutter snipe. I've already countered 2. They're going to just pass. Of One Mind, land, and a counterspell. We'll loot. We get a hacker. Ugh, I guess we'll attack. They can chump here or trade with the ninja, which I guess they could trade the snacker for the ninja, and then all the flyers get through. It's not terrible for them. But no, they chump. No, never mind. I do go for that, and I'll pick up the, I guess the Strix, so I can tap something later. No, I think I want the Seer. Draw a card. Hacker, Fairy Seer, Dispel, and there's finally a Miscreant. I guess we'll keep those. I have 4 cards in hand. We're probably just going to die with the gutter snipe. Can't have that around on the field for more than a turn without just dying to it. Faithless Looting. I mean, I think we let that resolve. I could counter it, but then they know, like they could just flash it back, and they know for a fact that we can't do anything about it. They have 2 more snackers, so all the snackers on the field or graveyard. Flame Breather, we'll try to counter that, I suppose. Then they have a Grab the Prize with a Fiery Temper for 9 damage. No, but they kill off the Strix. We're at 7. Play a Miscreant. We get a Dispel, which is not really looking that great here. Swing with the team. Pick up the Fairy Seer. If we get a Blue Blast, we might be okay. Brine Barrow, probably not going to cut it. Fairy Seer. Of One Mind, Spell Stutter, pretty good. If we survive. Of course, they just have Faithless Looting from the grave for 2 damage. Triad of Snackers returning. They have a Lava Dart, which I could dispel, but they can just flash it back and we're dead. Alright, we have a 2-lander. We're actually on the play this time, and I'm pretty sure Vikazin also plays mono red. So, here we are, probably yet again. Let's play a Fairy Seer. I will keep an island, and I'll keep a Dispel. 3rd island is pretty good to get. We're trying not to be greedy here. There's a Scred. Okay, looks like it's not normal red stuff, but it is red all the same. We know an island is on top, so I could play a Strix and then protect it with a Dispel, or I could just hold up Spell Stutter for 1. I think Strix is better because Spell Stutter's probably not going to catch anything, and then if I flash it in at the end step, and then they kill it, then I can't get the ninja down. Whereas here, if they just try to kill the Strix, I can, like I said, protect it. I will swing. Looks like we'll get a ninja down. We'll see if they have another Scred or anything, and they don't. We're definitely against Is It Control or potentially Is It Fairies. We're going to just hold up this Dispel. Frantic Inventory. Oh, okay. Well, I just played against this playing Gardens. It's possible this is in fact actually Is It Serpentine Curve, which we should probably be okay against. Ninja's looking pretty good for sure against them. Try to draw another card. Okay, we're going to Strix and Of One Mind, try to hit that land. If we don't, we at least still have Dispel up. We do, though, so we get to hold up Counterspell, Brine Barrow, Dispel, Spell Stutter, all feels pretty good. Pieces of the Puzzle, I don't think we want that to resolve. It's a pretty good card. They play a tap land. We get a Ninja the Deep Hours, another one. I could do that, draw 2. Yeah, I could just do the Hacker, but let's go all out. Draw a couple cards here. Play an Island, and yeah, I'll play a Strix. I guess with Brine Barrow, maybe I should have just held it up because I could Spell Stutter, Dispel, or I could like Brine Barrow with a Counterspell. They have a Breath Weapon. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'll Dispel, but I feel like they have the Counterspell. Lose Focus. Yeah, so if I hadn't played the Strix, could have been better. Ooh, we still get the big Ninja here, which we're going to use. I mean, we're not in a terrible spot, but obviously having those other ninjas would be pretty good. Faeries here. We'll play that. That buffs up our Spell Stutter Sprite. Counterspell. We'll keep that on top. Pieces of the Puzzle. I guess that's fine. Scred, Lightning Bolt, and 2 more pieces. I feel like they're just taking the removal spells probably. And they do. Which I will Spell Stutter, and then they're going to get to Scred it, but at least they have to use both on it. And here we get to Hacker, hold up Spell Stutter and Counterspell. Another land, even. Pass the turn. They Brainstorm. We'll just go for a Spell Stutter. They Counterspell and we'll counter back. And they concede. Alright, good start for us. All we have is Blue Blasts, but we already saw a lot of red spells, and they're going to probably have Pyroblasts, so I think that's fair. Bind the Monster can hit an Augur, but otherwise they're probably not going to have any creatures. Same with Snap. I think this might be a match where actually Winged Words is pretty decent. Just if we go late and the raw advantage can be good. I think the Brine Barrows are probably not going to have creatures to really go up against, though, so we'll cut a couple of those. Alright, looks decent. I mean, we just have 1 Miscreant, but, you know, Miscreant into, maybe into Winged Words, if it's still around, could be decent. They have an Augur, finding a Red Blast. We get a Blue Blast. Yeah, I'm just going to draw 2 here. If they don't just instantly kill the Fairy Miscreant, then I have a lot of ways to protect it next turn. We go for Brainstorm, Landscape, and Crack it. They are just going to take out the Miscreant, probably for the best, as far as they're concerned. I can't just run out a Ninja, though, because it gets blocked by an Augur, so I guess I'm just passing. They're not even going to attack in case we have a Brine Barrow Intruder, which we don't at the moment. We'll pass back to them. We'll keep hitting land drops. This one I'm pretty sure favors them to go longer, so I'm not really happy about this, but can't do much about it. We have another Augur. I think we'll just counterspell that. Creature can be relevant, and it could be a 2-for-1. If they Red Blast, I think we'll Blue Blast so that I keep the diversity in the hand of Dispel and Blue Blast. Not sure one of them's strictly better than the other in this matchup. We'll let the Brainstorm resolve. I'd rather Dispel a removal spell or counterspell or something. Or like a Frantic Inventory that's drawing extra cards or something. Harrier Strix. Interesting. And we're going to play that. Tap down an Augur. Pass the turn. They have a Scred. We're going to blast it. They have a Lorien revealed. Yeah, that's fine. Landscape. We get another Strix. Okay. I mean, Strixes can be pretty good with these ninjas. They have another Scred. We're going to Dispel. Please let us Ninja. Ninja the Deep Hours coming out. Drawing a card. Fairy Seer. I'm going to play that. Miscreant is no good. Brine Barrow. Now we're getting our creatures, which is nice, but now I need some more interaction. Like, if they Breath Weapon here, it's kind of, you know, pretty bad for us. And they find a Breath Weapon and a Counterspell. Pretty dang good for them. Yep, they just use that right away. Pass the turn. Well, now we'll cast a Strix so we can get our Hacker down. They have another Blast, apparently. We're going to counterspell that. They've gotten so much interaction. I mean, we've been able to fight it, so we've gotten a lot of interaction ourselves, but oh my god. Lightning Bolt, it's dead. Swing for 1. Winged Words. Well, they're going to counter the Strix if I play it. Maybe they'll counter the Winged Words. I don't know. I'll just cast this first, see if I can find, like... Alright, they do counter that. We'll cast the Strix then. And they have another Bolt. Dude! 6, 7. 7 single targets, and then a Breath Weapon. They have 1 card in hand. I could play this Hacker, but we've used up both Strixes. We took out Snaps, and we took out Bind the Monster, so I don't think that makes any sense to play it out. They have a Frantic Inventory to draw a card. A Serpentine Curve. You know, I took out Snaps and Bind the Monster for sure we want to take out. I took out Snap because I was like, oh, they're gonna wait until they can fling this. But I can actually counterspell fling, so they don't even want that. So I should not have taken out snaps, because I should be able to snap this. We're gonna die to it, probably. Of one mind. I guess we're playing a hacker, seeing if we can chump block for a turn. We will block. They have the fling. I mean, I have the blue blast. I'm hoping they don't have another counterspell, I guess. Feels risky for them to go for it if they didn't have the counterspell, but yeah, lose focus. Jeez, they just had so many answers to everything. They took the extra turn, like, I don't know. Bringing snaps back in, I guess. I don't feel like I want to get any more, get rid of any Hydroblasts, though. There were so many from them. I feel like the winged words are good. We need to stay up on advantage. I don't really know what to take out then. We have the one lander with the Faeries here. That is, I'm not going to keep ever again, I guess. Another one lander without a Faeries here, even better. Okay, we do have double Miscreant, but we're getting rid of Snap and Counterspell if we want to do double Miscreant. Or I guess Ninja. Well, I guess we're doing this. I don't know. Whatever. I assume it gets bolted right away, and oh, it didn't. Obviously, I could go for a Ninja. But then I'm losing out on value. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to just Miscreant here. And okay, Blue Blast is not bad. They have an Augur. Finds a Breath Weapon, of course. Gonna go for Ninja, but we know about the Breath Weapon. We certainly can't just replay the Miscreant, because then we get wiped. And we at least have a Blast to stop that. Another Augur. Well, I was gonna snap the one Augur to get in with the Ninja. That makes things harder. Just gonna bolt the Miscreant. We'll counter that. They're thinking about attacking for one. I would like that, because then I can snap this. Yeah, they get another trigger, but I also get another card, and they have to recast theirs. It's just 1 damage. It probably is not worth it from them, but obviously I'd appreciate it if they did. We get a Spell Stutter, play a Miscreant. Well, I guess I'm going to of one mind as well before we lose all our guys. And then I can Moon Circuit Hacker here. No, we might as well hold up the Hydroblast and make him use 2 spells here. Pieces of the puzzle. Red Blast, Brainstorm. Certainly taking double Red Blast. Pick off a Miscreant. That's fine. I mean, the Miscreant's good because I could pick it up with a Hacker and then I could replay it, but I think this Hydroblast needs to be saved for the Breath Weapon. Then again, I could just hold up a Counterspell for it. You really need to hit lands. You can hold up Spell Stutter / Counterspell and Hydroblast. I don't know. This is a tough deck to play when you're not hitting your land drops. Brainstorm, play a Fjord, pass the turn. Another Miscreant. I think the ability to save these is very, long gone. They're going to Breath Weapon. I could Hydroblast. They Red Blast. I Spell Stutter. Maybe we get there. I think I'd rather just Seer to try to set up more lands with the rest of the value we have. Red Blast here. I could Spell Stutter here. And if they don't have a lose focus, it goes off. But then they just Breath Weapon, and that's no good. Yeah, that's fine. Here's an Augur Bolas. Okay, ninjas are never getting through. I have understood that. Pieces of the puzzle. Cyclorian, Island. I'll play a Miscreant. If I play a second one, then I'm only holding up 1 counter spell. This way I buff the sprite a little bit, and then develop it so I can next turn play another Miscreant maybe. Frantic Inventory, that's fine. Pieces of the puzzle. If I counterspell that, which would be decent, then they just probably get a Breath Weapon off. Preordain and Serpentine Curve, not end of the world. Preordain. I could flash in a sprite here. Does that do me any good? If they Breath Weapon, I still have the Hydro, so it doesn't matter. I get in for a little bit extra damage. Miscreant to my next spell set is worth more. Just uses my mana. I don't know. I think I'm going to go for it. If they counter or whatever, I'll just probably let it go. Scred the sprite. That's fine. Red Blast, the Miscreant. I'm going to counter that because I'd like a flyer and I'd like a Miscreant to go with the Miscreant. But of course, they have every piece of interaction you could imagine. Another Ninja. I guess I'm just going to pass here. I can flash it a Spell Stutter, hold up Counterspell, maybe get a Ninja down. Snap is probably reserved for this Curve token. They have a Breath Weapon and 1 Unknown. Let's flash in a Spell Stutter, see if they want to do anything about it. Bolt. I could counterspell, and then they Breath Weapon. So let's not. We will snap the Fractal. I guess they could not have the Breath Weapon if they had brainstormed it away, but I feel like that'd be crazy. We'll play the Miscreant. We have a Counterspell, which is dedicated to this Breath Weapon, so if they draw another Counterspell or removal spell for this Miscreant or something, we're going to be having some trouble. No attacks. Upkeep, they're going to Breath Weapon. We're going to go for the counter. See if they have... They don't have a counter, but they have another Scred, of course. Just these Augurs are a huge pain. They draw Lorien. Dude. second league today where my luck has just been, well, my luck has been rough and my opponent's luck has been incredible. Brian Barrow doesn't do us any good, brother. I could just play a ninja. Why not? With the Brian Barrow, I'll have 4 attackers, and then I could ninjutsu one of them. Never mind, they're just going to scred it again, because all they ever draw is their removal spells. I mean, I guess, to be fair, they have so many removal spells in their deck. They're going to pass after casting another Lorien. We have a Dispel. They have another Curve. 22. Alright, I think I'm ready to go to the next match. Alright. We have a semi-reasonable hand. I think we're looking for ninjas here. There's a ninja, and I wouldn't mind a 3rd land, so we'll get rid of the Dispel. They also play a Faeries here. I mean, I get to attack. If they block, I Brian Barrow, kill their Faeries here. If they don't block, I could ninja them. They do go for the block, so we will just Brian Barrow, eat their guy. And I think I'll just flood the board with a Strix as well. Either one of those is a pretty good trade. They play an island and pass. Miscreant. We'll swing. I think we'll go for a ninja. They could have a Brian Barrow. I'm going to pick up the Brian Barrow because I actually like its ETB better than these other ones, I think. If they have a Brian Barrow of their own, oh, Snap. Okay. Then they could prevent the ninja, but Snap obviously works too, and lets them play a flash flyer if they want. I guess it doesn't have to be a flyer. It could just be any flash creature. They take 2, pass the turn. Nothing on the end step is interesting. Waste of the untap. We get an island, get to swing here. I will ninja the Seer this time. We get to draw. Not going to just throw away a Seer into a Spell Stutter, so let's just pass. There it is. No attacks from them. We will swing with the team. They block the Strix. I could go for a Brian Barrow, but I kind of think I'm fine with this trade, and if I initiate here, then it might lose me the combat. So I'd rather just draw a card here. Then we'll play a Miscreant. This lets me get of 1 mana, but I don't really care if it gets countered that much. They go for a full counter spell, so I'm going to just Fairy Seer. Now if they have like a Spell Stutter, I can counter spell it back. We have another Miscreant, but we just got ours countered, so let's put that on the bottom. And honestly, I don't care about this Fairy Seer too much either. So we'll pass, hold up our counter spells. And they concede. Alright, getting game 1 in the mirror. Gutshot's got to be good. Bind the Monster might be decent, although I guess Snap makes that a little bit harder. Dispel's good. We already have 2 Bind the Monsters. Snap's not super effective in this matchup. We'll keep 1 bind. Obviously the gut shots are better removal though. Yeah, this hand looks alright. They have a Miscreant. Play a Strix. We get a Winged Words. They're going to swing, and we're obviously in the same predicament last time. We either let them get a Ninja or potentially a Brian Barrow. We do kind of need this Strix for Words, Of One Mind, and Moonscircle Hacker, so I'm just going to let it go. If they get a Ninja, so be it. Then I could get one of my own. Of course, if they go for a Ninja, they're in the predicament we would have been in last time, which is that they are not holding out counter magic. So, you know, we could just get our Ninja down plus replay the Strix. Might be a fine exchange. And they do go for the Ninja the Deep Hours. This is where a Snap would be decent, but that's not something we have. Go for the Moonscircle Hacker and play a Fairy Seer. See, Bind the Monster on the Ninja could be decent. Counterspell seems okay too. We'll keep these both, I guess. Don't think we're chump blocking, so let's just take it. Even though they get a card. 2 Miscreants is pretty good. And they pass. Just gonna Of One Mind and hold up a counter spell, I think. Go for a trade here. Swing with the team. And we'll go for the blocks. And I guess I'll try to counter a Brian Barrow. And they get to Spell Stutter us. Yeah, not great. Shrink the Ninja. Trade with a Miscreant. Then Ninja the other one. I'm gonna bind this Ninja. Play a Strix. Play a Moonscircle Hacker, I guess. This mirror match is just, I feel like, crazy dependent on play draw. They have their Bind the Monster, and a second one. Swing for 4, loot away an island, replay the Miscreant. Guess we'll go for the Winged Words. They have a Spell Stutter, which I guess I got to counter. We have a Brian Barrow Intruder. We'll flash this in, shrink and eat the Ninja, I think. They have a Snap, so I can't actually kill the Ninja. And they just have a Ninja the Deep Hours. Come on, dude. We draw a Fairy Seer. That's not getting us out of this. I guess maybe prioritizing the interaction like Snaps and Bind the Monsters would be better in this matchup. Then maybe we don't need the Winged Words. We have the old one-lander Fairy Seer, which has never worked before. Gut Shot takes their first thing, allows us to connect, or Snap. We'll give it a try. Gut Shot, Counterspell. Alright, we are once again, we're just going to draw an island. It's not that hard. Just draw an island off the top. What's the point in this having scry 2 if you can't keep a 1-lander with it? You know what I mean? All right, good stuff. Let's swing. No blocks. Well, we're just gonna gut shot this and pass. They have a miscreant. I'm gonna flash in a Brine Barrow. This way I can of one mind if nothing else. We get our island, and let's just try to bind this monster. Okay. I think I'll leave back the Brine Barrow intruder in case they have an intruder of their own, so that I can block it. They're gonna pass. We're gonna of one mind. Counterspell. Swing. I think I'm just gonna pass. Next turn we can go for a ninja, I think. They're gonna pass it back. Here we'll swing with both, because I actually think I want to bring back the Brine Barrow, which can shrink their ninjas and the like. They're gonna snap it. That's fine. I could technically, like... Oh, I could have ninjutsu'd for 2 to deny their mana on tap. I don't think I need to do that. I could ninjutsu this now. Then I'm not holding up my flash stuff, so I don't think I'm doing that. They're gonna pass. Another ninja the deep powers. See if they have another snap here. Nope. That connects. We don't find an island. I'll discard flash in the Brine Barrow. Means I am going to want a blocker. I think that's fine. Let's get rid of one of these ninjas. Swing. They have a Moon Circuit Hacker, which I will try to Brine Barrow to shrink. They have the Spell Stutter. They have a Bind the Monster. Can always snap that if I want later. Fairy Seer. Another snap. I don't think we need a hacker. Not even sure we need another snap. I think we'll get rid of it. Flash in Brine Barrow. They have a counterspell. I will also counterspell. They have a counterspell back. If they have a Moon Circuit Hacker, they get to buy back the Sprite. That seems unfortunate. This just lets them loot. I think we'll block the Sprite, actually. If they have a Brine Barrow, they get to keep it alive. I feel like things were going pretty well, but now not so much. I'm not that experienced with blue fairies, so I'm probably not playing this perfectly. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I was playing it pretty terribly, but what are you going to do? Strix. Play a hacker. Play a Strix. I think this is right. Just deploy a bunch of guys. I guess I'll block all of them. Clean sweep. They hardcast a ninja. That's what I was about to do. Now I could snap their ninja, but then they replay it. I could snap my own ninja and then replay it. So I think, yeah, we'll do this. Ideally, there's no Brine Barrow, and we can just trade these. And then I can, like, snap this guy and replay it. It's so bad if there's a Brine Barrow. I feel like not blocking is not great either, though. Okay, they do trade. Give me something. Fairy Seer. Let's play that. See if they just have, like, a Spell Stutter. No. Gutshot Fairy Seer. I don't want the Fairy Seer. I kind of want the Gutshot. I could snap the ninja and just play it. Hardcast here, or I could wait and snap it later. Buying this back gives us another scry. That's probably better. Plus we have the snap if we need it for their guy. Very complicated mirror match. They play an island. Upkeep. They have Cyber Cryptomancer. Okay, fair enough. Can't gut shot that. We'll swing. Snap the ninja the deep hours. Untap ninjutsu. Draw a card. It's another ninja. We get to replay Fairy Seer. Island is gone. Counterspell stays on top. We pass. They play an island. No attacks. We get to swing. Ninja the Fairy Seer. And they concede. Alright. We got the mirror. Round 5 here. And a little land heavy, but we have a Fairy Seer to do the opposite. Try to scry lands away. Okay, we'll keep... We only have one creature, so if the Fairy Seer dies, now we have double Hacker in hand. I think that's bad. Or double Ninja in hand. We'll keep the counterspell, but I think we gotta get rid of the ninja. Like, they're about to snuff this out, yeah. So the ninja's no good in hand. Of course, I could just play a Moon Circuit Hacker here, but that's not very good either. Bajuka Bog. Strix is decent. Lets me hold up Snap and Counterspell. And can ninja next turn. And they're gonna pass. Play an island. Swing. Ninja. They have a Snuff out. I think I just snap it back to hand. They're probably gonna have a Counterspell. Yeah. Either way. Now they land like a Thorn. Yep. Because we didn't hold up Counterspell. I get to play a Strix, but if they have a Counterspell or a kill spell for that, it's kind of bad. Strack to Confession. I have to try to protect our Strix. They swing for 1. They have a ninja. Okay. It is Faeries, which is kind of what I was thinking. We get a Miscreant. I'm gonna loot. Okay. Behind the Monster's not bad. We do get the Monarch, but of course, not for long. bind this, play a Miscreant. We get a Brine Barrow. They go for a Brainstorm, and they replay the Thorn and a Fairy Seer. Well, if they have another... Oh, interesting. I was going to say, if they have another Snuff Out, then they block one and they snuff out the other. That's pretty bad. But I can now snap the Fairy Seer so that doesn't happen. And then Thorn isn't going to be able to take the Monarch because I can Brine Barrow it. I think that's what we do then. Snap the Fairy Seer. Swing for 2. We draw a Hacker. They're going to swing a Thorn. We're going to try this. They have a counterspell, so that doesn't work. Well, we'll take a damage. They get back the Monarch. Augur, another counterspell. Cast down the Strix. Well, we're going to loot. Get rid of an island. Miscreant off the top would be really good. Into some other stuff. Counterspell's not bad, but I'm afraid we are slipping away. Draw a card. Replay Miscreant. Another Hacker. Gonna cast Brine Barrow. They're gonna counter. We're gonna counter back. This guy's important enough because it lets us keep the Monarch. I assume they'll have another counter. Yeah. No reason to block then, so we'll just take 2. If that resolved, I could have shrunk the Thorn, blocked here, blocked the Augur with the Brine Barrow. I wouldn't have lost anything, and I would prevent any ninjas from coming down and all that stuff. But now, of course, they have another Ninja the Deep Hours. I mean, it looks like I can... Ooh, that's a really good draw. I can hit him for 4 here. Miscreant as well. I guess we play Miscreant first. I really need them to not draw their probably one of Suffocating Fumes. And because I'm worried about Suffocating Fumes, I'm actually going to go for the big ninja here. We take the Monarch, draw a card, draw and discard. Another of one mind. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to show off Winged Words, and you know, it's not doing as well as I thought, but we're definitely going to discard it here. I think we're playing the Miscreant. If they have the Suffocating Fumes, so be it. I didn't play a land this turn, did I? No. So I could go for Of One Mind to try to hit a land drop and then play Miscreant. I'm just thinking if they kill our Miscreant, I'd rather have gotten the card anyway. And I'd rather have the Flyers so that I can have lethal next turn. Yeah, let's just play Miscreant. If I draw a land here, then I can obviously still Of One Mind, which would be cool. And we do, okay. Strix. I think Strix is a little too all in. If we do get Suffocating Fumes, I want to have some stuff back, so let's just do this. That was an incredible turn. Unless they get Fumes, they now have to make the decision. Well, unless they have a bunch of creatures. I guess they have an Augur in hand. They have to make the decision between, like, taking the Monarch and leaving back blockers. And they're at 3, so they really have to leave back blockers. But they go for an Augur, find a Lorien, Brainstorm. If they don't have any removal or interaction at all, I can just Strix the Fairy Seer, Moonstruck Hacker, a Flyer, and we'll get in for 3 with Spell Stutter backup, which means I probably just let them get in with any other guys. I don't go for blocks or anything. They do have a cast down for Miscreant. No Fumes, though, is nice. Yeah, they might as well attack. Although, this actually lets me just tap down their Augur. I don't think they should have attacked with a Thorn. That was greedy. Play an island, and maybe they have a counterspell or another Augur or something, but Monarch goes off. Play a Strix. They go for a Sprite. We have a Sprite to counter theirs. Strix taps down an Augur, and we can get in for lethal, even without the Hacker in hand. Alright, that was a close one. Felt like we were going to lose it for a lot of that. Don't have much of a sideboard. I mean, gut shots for their spell setters probably decent. More Bind the Monsters did feel good for Augurs and stuff, too. Alright, we'll keep this one. We have Of One Mind with pair of human and non-human. This Brine Barrow Intruder is going to get bonded to this Strix. They have an Augur. No Snuff Out, please. Cast down is fine. Double Of One Mind. Yeah, I think we just want to main phase this. Main phase Of One Mind. Pass. Still not bad because this blocks the Augur in case they want a Ninja. If they want to cast down and then, like, Moonstruck Hacker, they can do that. That's fine. Fairy Seer. Scry 2 to the bottom. Counterspell. We could just go for another Of One Mind and hold up interaction. That's probably what to do. Just pull ahead of them in advantage a little bit. Snap's not bad. We'll just pass here. I cycle a Lorien for an island. That's fine. Kind of want to gut shot their Fairy Seer, but it's probably not a big deal. Play an island and pass. Bind the monster. Play a Miscreant. They cast down the Strix in response. I could snap the Strix if I want to save it, or I could counterspell. Then they go for a Spell Stutter, but then I get to gut shot them. I kind of think snap is decent here. We have double Bind the Monster, so I'm not really that worried about snapping their creatures. Dispel is fine. They got it. This guy was cast down. Pass the turn. They snuff out. Ooh. I should have gut shotted. I had F6'd, but I should have gut shotted when I this on the end step after they killed that. There was no reason for them to kill it on the end step, but people do that sometimes. I'm going to gut shot this because I'd rather a ninja doesn't come down. Now, if they have a counterspell for it, which I could have avoided on the end step, it'd be a bit unfortunate. But they don't. They play an island, and it feels like they probably had a ninja there. Exactly right. Moon Circuit Hacker. Okay. Are we just double binding the monster and then going for a Moon Circuit Hacker? I think we are. Seems pretty decent. We get a Miscreant. Our other one died. No. They play an island and another ninja. Yeah, that's all they got, huh? Well, they're out of cards, so we get to swing freely. If they block, I get to Brine Barrow it. They're obviously not gonna, so I'll just take the loot. I don't really need a Miscreant unless I have another one. And I think I just cast I hard cast a Hacker, which can block, and Brine Barrow. Fairy Seer. Let's grab one at the top. We don't need to do this on the end step, but I'm going to attack with these, and I want to kill the Fairy Seer first, so I'm going to be doing that. Swings, and if they block either, I get to Brine Barrow. If they don't, now I just get to Brine Barrow the Ninja, which I guess I already did. I don't know. We're in a very good spot. Dispel. I think because we're so low on mana, I actually will take a Dispel over one of these counterspells. And I'll take an island over the second Brine Barrow. Pass the turn. Like, if they attack to get a draw, I just get to Brine Barrow, shrink it. They augur, I'll just counter that. Alright, we got there against both the Mirror and Dimir Fairies. What did we learn? We learned don't keep a one-lander, even if you have a Fairy Seer, I think is the biggest takeaway. Also, probably that 18 lands is the right number of lands. I think that a lot of our games got skewed by us, probably our fault, keeping too few lands and trying to look for lands so early that it felt like we didn't have that many opportunities to really use the Winged Words that effectively. But this is a deck that you sometimes have to operate on 3 or 4 mana, so the 2 mana for Winged Words is really brutal. Like, having 1 mana for Evermind is really, really good. I can see why Winged Words probably isn't used too much. I still think there might be a little bit of potential, like maybe you could play 1 or 2 copies of it, as opposed to a full 3 or 4. But I just like, of course, brewing new decks is super fun, but I also still just really like finding new innovations with just single cards. Maybe this one didn't work out the best, but I also played like Mono Blue Terror a couple of weeks ago and played Deprive in it, and that was really good. So sometimes you hit a really good card, sometimes you don't. That's just how it goes. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my supporters, including my $10 and up monthly supporters, like Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JDNPX, Adam Cadmon, Apple Beta Pie, Halcows, Cody Cowell, and Sty. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.